Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, in this video, I'm going to talk about how you can actually grow a sustainable coaching business with our new influencer growth accelerator. So, over the past couple months, we've been making some changes into how we do specific things and specific offers, and specific systems as well too. But in this video, I'm just going to go over how we actually do it essentially, and how maybe possibly you could jump on and see how we can do this, implement this in your company, and help you, scale essentially. So, yeah. Before I do that though, who am I? Why should you listen to this random person? So, my name is Mahis. I run a content agency called Webful, and especially what we specialize in is we help coaches and consultants sign high-ticket clients essentially, and we're pretty good at it. We have a bunch of social proof case studies in my Facebook group. If you haven't joined, that link is underneath of this video. You can actually see the actual strategies that we use. This video is going to be one of those strategies, so you might be watching this in the Facebook group already. So if you are, good job. If you're not good job. But yeah, join the Facebook group. So in this video, I'm going to talk about how we actually help you do this stuff and the requirements to actually have actually like fulfill this thing for us to jump in and actually build this thing for your company. So one of the requirements, I don't know why I put this in here, is obviously you need to have a good offer. If you don't have one, we'll help you build one. If you are looking to create an offer from scratch, we actually don't do that anymore. So if you've never done any sort of coaching, you haven't done anything, you're like a complete beginner, then this isn't for you. If this is you, please watching this video. Then you don't have to watch this, you can go watch something else. We're looking for the people who already have some skin in the game. They have some proof of concept ideally, and ideally maybe already already making videos as well too. So this is the type of system that this works the best for essentially. So if you feel like you're one of that, and maybe your coach is stuck around the 5 to 10k range and you're looking to just scale past that, then keep watching. I think I have something that can actually help you do that essentially. So what we do specifically, assuming you have all the stuff that I just mentioned right now, we actually focus on so we have it in phases. So we have we have 3 phases essentially. So it's the attention phase, then it's the conversion phase, and then it's the re-attention phase, so getting more attention essentially. So it's kind of like a loop, and that's why I put the title sustainable, because a lot of coaching programs, a lot of people are pushing stuff that's not really sustainable and stuff that just doesn't really work essentially. So well, they'll work, but then after, let's say, like a couple maybe years or something, you see how like these big coaching programs, I don't want to say the names, but they'll blow up for the first 2-3 years. Then 3 years later, then no one knows the honor. They're completely lost to be seen, because they couldn't sustain the growth, and they couldn't sustain the way of how they were actually promoting, which was like a very silly and not really good way. So yeah, all right, let's jump into it. So basically we do attention grabbing assets, and now basically what we've been offering now is we're actually doing reels, shorts, 2-step stories, hand raisers, all that type of stuff. So attention generating assets for your offers, because we're going to help you build actual sales assets that you can use to create more attention essentially. So usually we'll do like shorts, and then at the end of your show you have a free thing that you give away for free, and usually if your shorts get a decent amount of views, you will get some people opted in. 2 steps to do into Facebook groups in a very strategic way, which we're going to talk about maybe not in this video, but that's basically what we do. We use strategic ways to actually go into other people's Facebook groups and do engagement posts, 2-step posts in their groups, without actually making them seem like they're actually 2-step posts. There's a specific way of how we do that. Hand raisers, obviously if you already have an audience, and this works super well if you have an audience already. So just stuff that just gets a lot of people to say yes, I want this stuff. So an example of what we did for one of our clients back in Jan is that we did this post for him when he did his free lead magnet, around 108 comments, 100 people really interested in what he was doing, and then the system we have actually helped him convert deals. Then we also have this other one which I did myself specifically. Then it's just an example of a reel, and then in the comment section we have the links. This is not full disclosure, we didn't make this one for we didn't do this is just an example. One of our clients did this by themselves. He's really good at this stuff, so I learned a lot of the stuff I implement from him. So he did this by himself, and then another client, we helped him build this system, but like he did this 2-step by himself essentially and got like 100 views. But this is just to show an example of the type of attention that you can actually get for yourself essentially. And then from there, we're going to actually funnel it down into a Facebook group or any sort of community. So these are some of the types of builds that we've done for clients, where when people register the interest of, like, let's say for example they're coming from an external website, let's say they're coming from YouTube, you would send them to a landing page like this where they fill out the information, they collect the email, and then after that, to get the actual asset, they have to join the Facebook group. So there's a very important reason why we tell them to join a Facebook group rather than just giving them the actual asset essentially. So that's if they're going from any external websites. But if they're on Facebook, you just tell them to join the Facebook group. Obviously you don't need to send them here because you're going to already collect the emails anyways, and then you funnel it down into an actual group or a community essentially. So I don't know why these questions are in there, because these are the wrong ones. But essentially what you do is that from here, you're going to funnel down all of the attention that you're getting, and then you own the audience. So what you're trying to do is you're trying to get it into a community where you can actually interact with the people who consume your content. Because what we usually used to do is that we'll try to give assets via email, and that would work to a certain extent, but you need a lot of volume to actually make like any real decent money. But with Facebook, if just people coming through, like you can actually see their profiles, it's a lot easier to actually interact with them and try to get them to maybe, let's say, book a call, try to get them to like maybe buy something, because it's very hard for them to ignore a platform that they maybe use on a consistent daily basis, which I would imagine majority of your target audience might be already using essentially. So that's just one way of how we do it. And then obviously from there, like when they join the group, if you don't know this, Facebook actually has a feature where you can request, and then it asks you like membership questions. So we have these questions where it's asking them, what do you do, how long have you been in the space, and what is your 12-month goal? Are you open to us reaching out to how you can get there? So depending on what your offer is, you could do like any sort of coaching. You just ask someone where they want to be, ask them if you want them to open out, and then obviously you want to give them the free gift as well too, so you can have an email sequence for that, and then ask them to fill out the information as well too. So not every single person is going to fill this stuff out, but the people who do, they're going to be super qualified, and the people who don't, you can still reach out to them and try to ask them. Or even I've seen people like decline people that don't even fill out the thing, and just ask them to fill it out essentially, because sometimes it just doesn't load. So obviously once they fill that out, you can actually get the optional setter, who would then reach out to these people, get them booked in using our conversation flow, which actually works pretty well to get people on calls. So I've actually implemented this in like another 7-figure company that I've been coaching for, and a lot of people have been getting ridiculous amounts of results for it. So I might make a video about it maybe later on, but we have a conversation flow that works super well. And then obviously from there, you get added into the quasi email sequence. So this is just for omnipresence, just to make sure that people are aware of you in the background. So they're still constantly getting emails, they're still constantly getting stuff, so you're like always there essentially. So hope this makes sense. And this is just an example. Like ever since I started implementing agencies in my group has grown like over like 200%, which is insane. Cool. Now you know how to grow a group, which is nice, good stuff. So from here, how are you actually going to start using so how are you going to start using the attention that you've gathered to actually convert them into like, you know, paying clients essentially? So this is where the value side comes into it. So what you need to create is you need to create attention converting sales assets. So basically what they are is that they are assets that basically convert people that consume your stuff and try to get them to actually, you know, book calls with you, or like showcase your expertise. So the main thing you're doing here is that you're actually just building trust. So you've got people with the attention, cool, everyone can get the attention, but now here comes the real part. How can you educate them to the point that they're already pre-sold by the time maybe they jump on a call with you? They already know what your offer is and they have no objection actually working with you essentially. So what you do from there is that you present them with you present them with a low ticket offer, or you try to explore options. So ask them for a call after they've, you know, consumed some of your content, educate them a little bit, and then present them an offer. Or you could either go down the route of building out a webinar. So let's say for example you want to build out something that is let's say for example like that's new, like you created something like a month, and then 2 months later you want to build out like a whole offer. You're gonna do a webinar to promote it, because those are usually like the easiest ways to get cash grabs and easiest ways to create better sales assets as well too. Or you could go the route of like, you know, just sending them to an evergreen VSL that kind of goes over what your offer is and how it works essentially. And then from there, you know, that's pretty much it for like the closed deals. Like it's actually quite simple, because what ends up happening is that people will join these groups from the attention that you generated, actually be blown away by the value that you give in, because you perform it in a very strategic way. And then from there, you use the systems and you use the conversation, because you're actually communicating with people, because it's not like you're sending it to an email, you're sending it to an actual person with the phone on Facebook. They can see your message, they can see your stuff, so it's really hard for them to ignore you, which is why we kind of switch from using everything on emails to Facebook, because it's extremely hard for people to ignore you on Facebook. It's easy to like start communities, it's easy to create engagement in there if you're actually posting consistently as well too, which we also help you do. So the person that actually manages all of this stuff doesn't only do do the reaching out to the people. They actually do the posting, they actually do the commenting. So it's kind of like an inbox setter, so you don't even have to look at this stuff. So these strategies that people say like, oh, do this, do that, it can get overwhelming. But if you were to work with us, you don't even have to do this stuff, where we'll just place someone in your company that just does this for you, essentially. And as a result, from there you get closed deals, and then from there you can actually use the knowledge you create to you gather from closing those deals to create new assets. So this is why it's sustainable, because every time you sign a client from the system, you then encounter like an obvious problem. Let's say like obviously what will happen if like you have never had problems where someone might go with something, then you solve the issue, and then you're like, oh, this would be probably a cool attention grabbing asset of how I help this person go from X to X. So then later on you get case studies from them. So you see how it just becomes sustainable, because this is completely organic. You don't have to spend money on ads for this. This is completely this always compounds as well too. So the more you do this, the better it works, which is the vice versa for ads. Like the longer you do ads, the longer you do ads, the less it works and the more expensive it becomes, because you saturate the markets essentially. So for this, the longer you do it, the more it works, because you are building on an existing community. So you're always adding new users every single day. And then the third part about this is that the acquisition cost is pretty much negligible, essentially, because like you probably only be paying for the person who's actually coming in and sending the appointments for you if you're doing it on a commission basis. But the amount of value they're gonna give to you versus the cost that you're actually spending is gonna be ridiculous. So we've been implementing this for our system as well too recently, and we've been getting a lot of people requesting to join our groups recently, because I've been heavily promoting this. So I don't think like I recently started doing this like not even too long ago, and like I think in like maybe 2-3 weeks we've probably added like 150 new members in the group just from this strategy alone. And this is not from like outbound invites, this is just from me promoting assets, and I've honestly not even been promoting it as much as I should be. So if we were to actually implement this for people and actually use this to get closed deals, it was going to be like a very game changer thing. So I wanted to know what you guys think about this. If it is actually a really cool system, I'll probably present this more better on like other different platforms, let's say like YouTube or something like that. But I wanted to know what your opinion was on this system, if it actually makes sense. Is this something that you would possibly see yourself like actually implementing for your business? And if you're a current client, like and you're watching this video as well too, this is going to be implemented for you regardless if you want this or not, because this just works well. So we're going to just implement this for you anyways. But this is kind of like how we're using the sustainable stuff. So we're still doing shorts, we're still doing all the stuff, the fancy stuff that gets the clicks and everything. We're just kind of like directing the conversion mechanism in a different manner compared to how we were doing it before. So yeah, I hope this makes sense, and I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have any questions on how this actually works and what you need to do to get started with this, just message me. I will see the message probably, and then you can leave your comments as well too. So yeah, hope this video made a lot of sense, and I hope to speak to you very soon. Peace.